Okay, so hopefully we're back online now.
All right.
Just waiting for people to come back in. Guess who's back?
Back again.
Okay, we're back. Picking up where we left off. We've got Keeber 804. Any thoughts on Lucid Air? I don't know what that is.
Let me look it up.
We'll come back to that.
Lucid
Thank you for your donation. We'll come back to Lucid Air. Cooper Billups, thank you for your donation. Hey, Mr. Regular, you mentioned being subscribed to Drew Toothpaste in an earlier Brian and you. Do you listen to his movie music, Crud Bump? I listen to, I don't have any of his albums, but my brother collaborated with him. My brother, his DJ name is, I think it's, he went by a bunch of different ones, and I don't know which is the main one now. I apologize. It was Mr. Sequencer, and then he has a bunch of other ones. And my brother, and Drew collaborated and made an album called Hell Orbs. And I remember when my brother was making the video for the Seventh Dimension. I think that was him, or did he do some other stuff? Maybe he did some of the things for that. I've never met Drew Fairweather, but my brother hung out with him a few times. And I think Drew is a funny guy. I love he has like OG YouTube stuff where he just made videos about like lemons and Ohio Shape. That's one of my favorites. And I Don't Do Shit. Like his music and his beats were fantastic. I love it.
Yeah. So here's the Lucid Air. It is Motor Trend's car of the year. It's the luxury electric vehicle.
California startup.
Yep.
Which maybe will make it.
But yeah, startup EV maker Lucid.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's very supposedly sophisticated and we were wowed by the whopping numbers Lucid has been touting lately.
520 miles.
Up to 1,111 horsepower and 1,390 pound-feet of torque.
See, big power, like sure, all you need is a big electric engine and like stuff that doesn't get hot. Yeah, you can make those numbers.
Yeah.
Like a small train. But the big thing is mileage. Like how much of that car is battery, and EV promises are like political promises.
Yeah, yes. It is. That actually is a great line. And I don't mean actually as in I'm surprised by it, but it actually is something that I haven't seen people necessarily compare it to. It's that we see a lot of big promises. Everyone talks a huge game in the electric vehicle sector, but who's really delivering? And it takes a lot to become a household name in that sector too, without a huge personality fronting it like Elon.
Yeah.
And which is funny because he is a big personality, but I don't necessarily think of him as like the most charismatic guy.
Of course not.
But I mean, I guess that's part of the appeal for crypto bros and all them. So,
Bob. Hi, Bob. Question for Roman.
Oh.
Who would you rather spend an evening with? Angela White or Betty White?
Good question. To which I don't have an answer because I'm going to say Betty White mostly because I would love to pick her brain about things, which is funny. Well, I mean, I can't say Angela White because I'm in a relationship, but no, it's no, Betty White. She's someone who like, I remember when I was like a TV reporter and we were interviewing her for like a show called, and I say we, I mean like a bunch of people in the queue line on an NBC conference call for her show off their rockers or something along those lines. And she was just like very funny and witty. I remember like she said if there was one thing that she didn't get to do in Hollywood, and it was what's his name? Robert Redford. There we go. I'm like, oh, that's just wonderful. And yeah, and Golden Girls is one of my favorite shows of all time, and she's a national treasure, worldwide treasure. I mean, so is Angela White, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I'll go with Betty White for wholesomeness points. Yeah. Oh, and I wasn't a TV reporter on NBC. I was a reporter on like a small blog that, I mean, it was very nice job and I enjoyed doing it, but it was also very intensive because a lot of my hours were nights in prime time. So either doing like live blogs or reviewing TV shows immediately after they aired, which sounds simpler than it is. And it would have been, but I make things complicated for myself. So whatever. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for the question and thank you for the donation.
Thank you. The Remade 12 says, where do you think pride of ownership stems from? I have something beautiful and therefore I am beautiful.
Yeah.
I have a kid. I'm going to drag it everywhere and then people will like me.
Yeah. I'm going to take too long to eat my lunch.
And the
while
kid
my baby makes noise.
And I go outside because I can't concentrate at the coffee shop today.
And baby muzzles don't exist. So no, I mean,
I have a beautiful dog. I walk around and therefore I am also beautiful.
Yeah.
What's a good way for an ugly man to get some pussy? Own a cute dog.
Oh, absolutely. They used to have the whole breakdown. This is a really weird tangent, but
play acoustic guitar and have a cute dog.
Yeah. It's one of the Axe body spray. They had like these game breakers that they're all archetypes of men who like are constantly cock blocking you. So there's guy with the dog, guy who speaks with an English accent, guy who I don't know, the pace car, which is basically like the girl who is so hot that she kind of like limits your ability to score with anybody else. Or I think that's how it goes. I don't remember, don't really care, but it's something where essentially guy with a baby is like the apex because it shows that he's like willing to commit. It's like guy with a wedding ring, you know, which is not to say that like women actually look for married men to, you know, sleep around with. It's just, there's something intrinsically appealing about someone in going in both directions where, you know, if you show you're willing to commit, that there's something to be said for that. But, yeah, I don't know.
And that's another thing I got to talk about in therapy is that all the people I've had big crushes on, they're all taken because they're unavailable, like my parents were emotionally. So you can, because in my mind, that's what love is pining for something and getting rejected.
Yeah.
That is the natural arc of what I know intellectually is wrong, but emotionally, this is what love is. You project, you bid for attention and are brushed off. You bid for attention. And then when you finally make a big grand gesture, you are, or I am punished for it, or there are negative repercussions. So in my sabotaged relationships, that's what I did. Pine, or in modern terms, simp. Grand gesture, don't talk to me anymore.
Yeah.
Because that's what I experienced at home, or a version of it. So all I've been doing is recreating these things. And the few times there was a breakthrough with sometimes my bad strategy worked, like twice.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if the other person was pitying me, if it was like a pity cuddle, or maybe we actually clicked. I don't know.
Yeah. Like I would always wonder that all the time in like high school and college. Is this a pity makeout session? Or is it like,
yeah.
Or, you know, it's just, you don't know and you can't know unless you've known them for, that's the thing. You don't know and you can't know unless you know.
Yeah.
It's that double-edged sword. So yeah.
Meme Break 64 says, and thank you for your generous donation. Former concert, marimba, and marching band player here. Yep. Heaviest thing I don't know if it's that or like the biggest timpani. It's the heaviest thing around there. Also ferociously expensive. Been watching for 7 years. Well, that's how long we've been doing it. So thank you since the beginning. Just wanted to say the Civic review. Which one? We did because we were a bunch of Civics.
Could it have been the SI?
Could have been the SI. Could have been the one where you rapped in the beginning. Like, like child of the 80s, even though it's 91, car so light, and yet it's the mighty one. That's one of my favorite
Oh,
raps you've done.
I don't even remember it. I
That
have
one,
to go back and
Ted Stoltz was out for that shoot, and it was an EF hatch. It was a little square one, only a 4-banger, and had the D series engine. I love that car.
oh,
And just wanted to say the Civic Review had my old percussion class dying when that came out. Always love your videos, Brown or something. Well, thank you so much.
thank you so much. That means a
Appreciate it.
lot.
Dun, 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 dun. Cooper Billups says Utah is fun to check out. Hell, even for the skiing. I'd like to do both of those
Especially
things.
for the skiing, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Like that's intense. Montana too, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that came up, but
Frank Zappa song. Moving to Montana soon. Gonna be a dental floss tycoon. Swollen 97. Just bought a 2007 Mazda 6 with 260,000 miles on it for $2,000. Roast me. You paid too much, man. I think that's $1,000 car, or $1,500. I think they paid $500 too much. Unless that interior is mint. I needed a car ASAP. Okay, understandable. Like this is a car, gets me around as the closest and cheapest. Okay, it's what you found. Only had to replace the brakes and spark plugs so far. Okay. Okay. I mean, if it's a car and it gets you to the better one, or it gets you to the job that gets money to get the better car, yeah, good. Very good. 260 large.
man, that's so high.
I mean, that's a Fomoco product. So piston rings. I don't know. Understand. I wouldn't dump a whole lot of money into this. This thing gets you money, so you can get $5,000 to get something better. Yeah, this is the car that gets you the better car. But congratulations. And also thank you for your donation. Imperator's Door. What Mr. Regular wants is a 500 Vaz 2101 Lotta car in pristine condition. Why do I want an Eastern Bloc car? Or is that a modern car? Haven't driven a Lotta yet. Driven Justin Lose's Yugo. I don't know if that's better or worse. So I got to get in a Lotta to check that box. I don't know if I would want to own something that doesn't keep me warm in the wintertime. Because I'm over classic cars now. Yeah. After having the Falcon. I want a car with a heater that works. Yeah. I want a car that doesn't bleed in cold air from every place. I think if a classic car comes into my life again, it would be a third car. It would be only the fair weather, it's warm out a few times, in the same way that Tony Airlines has his Honda Beat convertible. That's only the nice weather car. Yeah. But that's me buying a house with a 3-car garage.
Yeah.
3-car garage and a driveway means you can have 5 cars. That's a lot to insure, man. That's a lot to insure. Scroto T. Baggins, love that name. I hope the sessions help you find what you're looking for in life. It's going to be a hard road. Well, thanks, man. It's going to be a hard road, and I'm going to have to. I will force myself to stop making bad decisions in relationships. And I have an inkling what these bad habits are.
Yeah.
Because I can sometimes hear that little voice like, you really shouldn't say that, or you shouldn't DM this person in those words. Because I know I push relationships in the direction which I think they will inevitably. I push relationships in a direction where I believe in which I'm trying to end this sentence without a preposition. Damn it, you're a federal agent. Never end a sentence with a preposition.
Oh God, I love Robert Stack so much. If I could do a Robert Stack impression, I would never shut up. That would be my regular voice from then on. Update within minutes of our broadcast. I can't, but
I push relationships in a direction in which I believe they will ultimately end up. How do you rewrite that sentence without
Wait,
in a relationship? I will push. This is bad. This is bad podcasting. But it's like if we were Come Town, this would just
Yeah.
be perfect.
yeah. It's
God, this will eat up 20 minutes.
Yeah, I would.
We
push
got 45. Actually, no, we got almost an hour still.
to which indirect push. Yeah, I got nothing.
And this is also a bad habit. I keep looking at my Telegram here, and I know that my self-worth spikes and dives depending on who responds.
Mm,
So again, this is me trying to gain validation from a parent who's incapable of understanding my position.
yeah,
Notice me, demonstrate love to me, tell me I'm not alone.
yeah,
I found my workouts were a lot better when I didn't look at my phone. And it's not like I'm going to get a flip phone or delete my apps from my phone. It's in the same way that when I did Sober October, I had a fridge full of beer and a cabinet full of coffee. You can look at it, but you can't touch it.
yeah,
Which was easy, but the phone's harder. Like I know the therapist is going to say, well, you're going to have to really cut down on social media.
yeah,
Which probably means only look at it after the gym. Sounds like a nice after my reward.
yeah,
Like after I work out, you can listen to all the podcasts and music you want at the gym, but you can't talk to anybody. Or you can't try to get validation from there's like a few people on my Telegram that every time they respond, I'm happy.
yeah,
And every time I say something and they don't respond, oh, they must hate me.
yeah,
Even though I know that's not true. But in the absence of having a productive relationship, that has become my relationship
yeah.
or interaction with people.
And you have to internalize the truth that it's not you,
Mhm.
that it literally is just someone isn't at their phone or someone has something else going on. For all I know, or for all anyone knows, they were told the same thing by their therapist of not going on social media at XYZ hour.
Mhm.
And so that's why they're not getting back. So who knows? I don't know.
Let's see. Where were we?
Oh, we were at
Lotta-
Scroto T. Baggins.
Okay. Thank you. I hope the sessions help
Oh.
you find what you're.
I just mean like we're after Scroto T. Baggins.
Okay.
Oh, the rest of the sentence.
You deserve happiness. I know this isn't much, but here's some Forerunner money. Yes.
Yes.
Next week's car, we can't talk about the inevitable Forerunner, although we already have it. So yes, the sponsorship money has started to come in, and I was able to purchase a Forerunner. So yes, we have it. Already I've named her Susie because she's a tank, and it's a reference to Deltarune. She's the big tank. I almost want to wrap her purple as well. I named her Susie because wow, this thing's thirsty. Like she's always hungry, and she's the tank.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's definitely Susie. But we're not going to reveal her until we have a goodbye to Goldie, and that's I'll spoil it. That's Monday's car. Is finally we reviewed our own camera car, Goldie, and it's almost a 20-minute video just talking about all the stuff, all the fun we've had with our second-gen Forester. And I don't know when we're gonna review Susie because we need a car to film that car.
Yeah,
and I'm already giving away the person who's I am gifting this car to one of my friends who she is in tech school, and she's going to use this car at tech school to work on for her certification.
Oh, Goldie, you mean?
Goldie. Yeah. So, anyway, I mean, filming Susie we just have to wait for like another car or another press car or just something to film out the back of it.
Yeah.
Probably what I really should do with Susie is get footage of her as the seasons pass, because that will make a pretty good video. So we'll get fall, we'll get her in the snow,
Yeah.
we'll get her in this, and we're going to get that. And that way, because I had to really search for, because there isn't any foot that I wish I had footage of Goldie just doing, because I would do like 4-wheel drifts in that car in the snow, but I have no footage of it. Not that anybody can go online and find pictures of Subarus doing jackass stuff in the snow.
Yeah.
I'm no different. But yeah, with Susie, I think as the years go on with this car, I should just have the folder of just Susie footage, her going through mud, getting cleaned off and stuff, and maybe
Yeah.
getting a wrap on her and all the stuff as we use the new camera car.
Yeah. Get something nice.
So
on
thank you,
there.
Scroto T. Baggins.
Thank you so much.
Dominic T. Mad props for getting into therapy with a positive outlook. Seems entertainers, comedians are often some of the most broken. Yeah, I mean, if I didn't have these problems, I probably wouldn't be, as entertaining or be able to write this sort of stuff. The RCR began as a sort of self therapy tool, as all the anger and frustration that I had with not having a real job, being unfulfilled, came out. That's why season 1 and season 2, I'm just pissed throughout the entire time. And people say, "Oh, Brian, why don't you do it like you?" Because things are easier and it's clearer. So there was a mellowing out.
Yeah.
As the years went on.
And it's harder to go to that place because it requires a change in thought that might not exactly be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean you can't go back there. It just means you can't be that frequent.
Like I'm going to go back when we talk about that freaking baby.
Yeah.
I'm going to lean into that on the upcoming review. It's just kind of non sequitur. Let's just go into it.
It's weird. I actually like babies, just not when I'm working. But
it's
something where I think, everybody feels that way for the most part, but you understand. I don't know. It's hard. I imagine parenting is hard. So, yeah.
We've got the actual Team Ryan. There's a familiar face for $6.90. Nice. Get forklift certified, the brownest of licenses. I guess. It seems like you should volunteer. You should do a lot of other things. Probably. But I get only really 1 day off a week from doing RCR. I'm always doing something, and often at weird hours.
Yeah.
So getting a second job is like kind of weird. I kind of want to work at our coffee shop that we go to all the time, but on my own terms. And whenever I got a few hours, I'm bored.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, can I come in and work? Like volunteer?
You need anything?
But I'll be like, yeah.
Yeah. Just kind of be that like at will, just walk in.
You don't have to pay me. I just want to be around people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will literally not accept payment.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah.
I can't get fired if I'm never hired. Church 87 with a generous donation. Thank you. I recently bought a Corvette C5 to stop daily driving my 1972 C3. Yep, that C5 is definitely going to be much better. The C5 removes the life from back road. Wait. The C5 removes the life from a back road by taking anything I toss at it with no work on my end. Yeah, it's got wide tires and it's a wide body. The C3, due to how involved it is. Can performance make a car boring?
Sure, in theory, depending on what it is you're looking for, because I've known people who actually enjoy the struggle of transmission that is maybe more not as like pliant as some others, and maybe a suspension that gives a bit of that isn't as tight.
When does performance, like more power, make the car boring? I haven't experienced that, where more power removes emotion. I suppose. What's something I've driven that would be more fun if it had less power? Like when you think about Miatas, it's like, yes, they're fun because they don't have a lot of power, but they're also fun because they're small. And the suspension is fantastic.
I mean, the BMW we just did, that seemed like it had a surplus of
power. It had more power than you need for the street.
Yeah.
I think, I wasn't bored, but it encouraged me to speed. Whereas a 135i, I think with the smallest engine available with a stick shift would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun in a different way. I can understand how more power and more torque would be boring, would create boredom at slow speeds. Just driving around that car is boring.
Yeah.
Whereas a low power version of that car just doing daily stuff would probably not be boring because you could put your foot down and shift a lot. With that 450 horsepower BMW, just driving it around, it's bored just going through town.
Well, I imagine it's the same. It would be the same way with kind of like that Lucid Air from earlier, where like 1100 horsepower. Like, at what point are you even engaging with what's happening there? You know, it'd probably be.
Yeah.
I don't know that it would be better if you powered it down, but who even knows? I should probably get the sign right.
Yeah.
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 Sign everywhere, signs.
I invited Frederick Knudsen from Down the Rabbit Hole to remote in, but he is lying in bed right now because he's in Austria, and you're in bed early. You're only 6 hours ahead of us. It's only like 9:30. You in bed already? Anyway. Where are we? Projecto 5. Have you considered turning the Forester into it? No. Have you considered turning the Forester into 24-hour Lemons a race car? Please, thanks for getting me into that. No. Because if you want to do 24 hours of Lemons, you need a roll cage, you need everything else, and you need to weld that body together. Yeah. I have no interest in building a race car because I've sat in and I've driven them. They're not cars at that point. They're track tools. Yeah. They're loud. They make your teeth hurt. They're made to exist only on the track and be traveled around on a trailer. So no. All I would really want out of 24 hours of Lemons is to buy time in someone else's car. Yeah. I don't even have a fire suit. I need a fire suit. I got my helmet. That's it. I need helmet, gloves, everything else. And I have no track experience apart from like the cursory instruction I've gotten from Monica Harrison and David McNewitt at Harris Hill Road down in San Marcos, Texas. So, and even then, the amount of speed that you're supposed to carry into those corners feels sinful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very accessible sin too, in the way all sin is accessible.
The most fun I've had is romping around the track, driving badly. That was a blast.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine it's something where you're encouraged to not necessarily pay as much attention to the precision of your driving skill, that you can be sloppy.
Yeah. Evan Paul, with a very, very generous donation, thank you, says, thank you both for making Mondays something to look forward to. Thank you for allowing me to have a job.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's Steph Schrader.
Steph Schrader, hey.
Oh, you should remote in.
You should.
Where are you? I'm going to message you. I think you're on Telegram. You should remote in. Where are you? I haven't talked to you on Telegram for forever. I'm just going to message you on Telegram. BUMP. There you are.
Bump.
Yeah.
She said, I don't know how.
Oh. She doesn't know how. She lost her login for Telegram.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Because that's what we're using for call-ins now is Telegram. Well, she saw it there.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, there she goes. Yeah. Well, I'm going to directly talk to you through this. So if you want, you can call me on Telegram, and then we'll directly pipe it in because it's plugged into my mixer right there. I just have to turn it on by unmuting it there. So if you call me on Telegram, I'll see it pop up, and I'll just patch you in.
Yeah.
Because we haven't talked in like forever. But I simp for the GT4 RS. Which Porsche is best Porsche? My favorite Porsche?
Yeah.
914.
914. Hey.
The dumb one.
Very nice.
Not even 944. I want the most underpowered flip-up headlight. There she is. Okay, so I think you'll be hearing me
Huh.
through.
Things.
You'll be hearing me. Let's see. Can you hear me on this? All right. No, we'll find out in a second.
I mean, I
think,
can't hear anything.
Okay, I think I hear you. Say something,
Yes.
Steph.
Balls.
Okay, balls. Very good. Let
Balls.
me give you some more volume here. Test again. Test
Uh-oh.
again.
Testing. Testes.
Even more testes. Well,
Even more testes.
people tell me how her levels are. We'll just go the three-way thing. Just say your name. Brian.
Nick.
Steph.
Brian.
Nick.
Steph.
Balls.
Balls.
Steph.
Oh, now
Okay.
I can hear
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it wasn't on.
Yeah. If you want, let me show you where it is, Nick. Your volume is right there. It's
Nice.
the top one. So if you're too loud, too soft, you
Good
can
old
adjust
wheel.
yourself.
Haven't had volume.
They're saying turn Steph up a little bit more.
Uh-oh. Turn up the balls.
a little bit louder
Thank you,
now.
Bob.
Okay, so you are max on that. So I'm just going to use all the levels here. Say something again, Steph.
Balls.
Let me max
I feel
everything
like
out.
Okay.
You know, I wonder if I should just turn up the volume on the Amazon Fire. Maximum there. Say something.
Cheese.
Oh, there we go. Hey.
Oh no.
All right.
Enough.
Test again, Steph.
Test.
All right, that sounds really good.
Rock and roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Figuring out live on air. Hello, Steph, coming to
Yes.
us from Austin, Texas.
Yes.
Steph Schrader, everybody should know, 944 Lemons Racer, automotive journalist and good
Lancer.
friend of the show, and
Yay.
stuffed animal enthusiast.
Woo. Yes.
So, Steph, we're going through super chats as you saw. Feel free to comment as you see fit. Does that sound good?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got
Perfect.
carte blanche.
Man, this
Uh-oh.
this Amazon Fire, I can't believe how good the audio is coming out of this thing for like the cheapest one that they do. It's like the cheapest tablet you can get,
Wow.
and it plays ads when you turn it on.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Ooh.
In the future, I'm just going to get like an iPad mini or something like that. But for now, actually, wait, does the iPad mini even have a jack?
I don't know. I kind of well.
Yeah, I should probably eventually just go with like Android products. All right, so Steph, tell us about the GT4 RS. What is like when you say GT4? Because I need to be educated on Porsches.
Oh,
when you say
yeah.
GT4 RS, is there a specific year that immediately refers to, or does the RS line span multiple generations?
I think it spans multiple generations, although the RS cars, like Nuggets that you drove, tend to be a limited run, and they tend to sell out very fast now. I'm not sure what the allocations are like, or what like year to year it is. They debuted it as a 2022 model, and everybody's super excited because it seems like they've always like held back the Cayman. You know, conspiracy tinfoil hat being, you know, they don't want to eat the 911's lunch with this mid-engine car that a lot of us think are more fun.
Yeah.
And I like the 914 answer, by the way. I just put a 914 engine in the back of my Volkswagen.
How'd that go?
It works now, sort of. Still follows plugs. I need to do some carb work, but
is
next lemons.
That's your silver one that we saw at the track?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep. It runs now. I'm so excited.
I'm excited too.
But yeah, they've had a GT4 Cayman, which is good. It's got some track mods, but like the GT4 RS is them going just balls out, like carbon fiber parts. They put the 4-liter engine from the 911 GT3. Like it is stupid. It looks stupid, and it looks like my kind of stupid, which I will never be able to afford, but will put on, some poster in my house probably.
It's very rare to be able to afford for anyone to be able to afford their kind of stupid, because it's a
Yeah.
very niche type of garishness.
Yeah. Oh, there would be like a carbon fiber toilet in my house if I could,
I mean, I feel
I
like
don't know how
that's
the
that's
bowl
the
would
future
work.
of dumping. It's like,
That's the future of dumping.
Yeah.
Dumping
Oh,
super
man.
legera.
A carbon fiber toilet seat. I'll bet that would come up to temperature immediately.
oh, absolutely.
Like I wouldn't be able to feel my butt
yeah.
at all.
Yeah, it's like that. Remember Roundhouse? And they had that-
Yes.
and they
We're
had
going
that
to a
s-
roundhouse and have a celebration.
Yeah. And they did that sketch where the guy has to like warm up the toilet seat for his dad by sitting on it. And he's like, "But Dad, I don't wanna." It's like, "You must do this." Something along those
They had
lines.
that one. They had only one like guy who could pass for a dad,
Yeah.
and everybody else was like, I guess they were trying to do. I don't know what that show was.
It was
It
like
had like a dance number and like hip hop dances in it.
it felt like this weird fusion of like Saturday Night Live and In Living Color, but
Mhm.
also like, what Upright Citizens or something,
Yeah.
where it's just these weird sketches, but it's in front of a studio audience with these
Mhm.
minimalist sets,
Yeah.
and it's on at like 9:30 on a Saturday on a kid's channel,
Yeah.
because it's like this was part of the original Snick lineup, if I remember right.
Yes.
Oh,
And
Roundhouse.
It's just like such a weird show. It's one of the I mean, it is. I was lucky to grow up in an age where like they put genuinely weird things on kids' TV, but
Mhm.
I think Roundhouse was pretty far up there in terms of just overall weirdness. I would recommend anyone to check it out.
Yeah. I haven't thought about Roundhouse in a while, and I want to watch it, but I'll bet it's not going to hold up.
I was watching an old. A lot of the lineup still holds up because there's this channel that allows you to watch like old network lineups with commercials. So I was watching like an old like right down to the date of airing. So I was watching like this airing of a Nickelodeon Saturday from like a Saturday from June of like 1993.
Mhm.
And I was just impressed by how everything held up. Like Nick Arcade is still fun to watch.
Nick Arcade. Yeah, that. Yeah.
Freaking Pete and Pete was still great. It was the one where they're going to the Grand Canyon and they have to beat the other guy who's like trying to be the king of the road by stacking their like luggage higher than everyone else, and they have to get like buck naked at the end to stack their clothes. It's great.
We're going to go to Sean Brewer here. Thank you for the generous donations. Sean says, Brian, as someone in the LGBTQ community, I wonder if you will be ever open to sharing a detailed story on your coming out and growing up. Yeah, my detailed story was me having a tweet like a couple weeks ago. Like that was it. A lot of us would like to hear it, but only if you're comfortable doing so. I never made a big coming out thing. I came out to my parents in therapy like 10 years ago. But I wonder now, they've never spoken about it since. And it was like in family therapy. And I wonder if they're even going to try to like gaslight me and said, we don't remember that. Like you never did that. But whatever. I'm 40 years old, man. It's not a pageant for me anymore. I am a car that needs a full, I'm a car with, what am I? I don't know. I can't think of a brand name of a car, but a car that has sat for a while and is not, you can't just start it and run it.
Yeah.
I'm like a Steph. Think of a car that it's sat for like, so I'm 40.
Ran when parked.
Ran when parked. Yeah. It ran when parked back in 81. Like picture a,
like a Plymouth Reliant.
Well, maybe something like I got potential, I think. Let's talk. Oh, how about this? Like, well, let's keep it from like the Porsche Boxer was that the 90s when that came out? Like the cheap, yeah. So let's call it a Porsche Boxster, a Gen 1 Porsche Boxster that ran when parked, but it was like some guy bought it, drove it for a little bit, and now it's sat for 40 years. Or, well, it would have been 30 years, right? Or 25 years. It was 95, 96 is 25 years. So someone gifts you this car, Steph, this Boxster that hasn't been run, hasn't been turned over. It has the same fluids, everything from like 96. What do you do?
Replace all of the rubber and fluids and probably drop a borescope in to see if anything gross has gotten in the cylinders. And I'm an idiot. I would probably send it.
I like what you said about the borescope. That's definitely probably what therapy is. Okay, what's going on in here? You're gonna drain the oil and like, what's in here? Like, pan off, look up. All right, what's going on? Maybe we're gonna look at the throttle body. What's going on in here? Is there any water in the exhaust? Look at that. And you said all rubber. Like, this isn't good to just run. You can send it, but it's going to be disastrous. You could send me out into like you could send me to a gay bar, but it's not going to be pretty.
Oh yeah,
no
change
idea
the IMS. Moto HDK, change the IMS bearing. That too. That's like compulsory on early Boxsters. But
what is that? The IMS
intermediate shaft bearing. It tends to grenade and ruin the whole engine. And then you have, instead of the what is it, few hundred, maybe low 4 figures, you have like a 5-figure cost or, a sketchy junkyard engine. It's been a while. I know I had a friend whose Cayman engine grenaded, like early Cayman, same kind of issue. And it was like $15K for a used one. That was also like 2014 or whatever. So they might have come down since then. But yeah, it's that's the other thing I would do with an early Boxster. But that is a very Boxster specific fix. So maybe there's like a you specific fix.
Noah says, are we talking about your sexuality or a colonoscopy?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, I'm 40. It's time for that too.
Oh,
it's literally time for a borescope.
Yeah. Now I just want to listen to Gay Bar by Electric Six.
Projecto 5 says, first time I went to a gay bar, I just took it slow to figure things out. Best to go with a LGBTQ friend. I am not ready for a bar because let's not introduce booze into the equation. Let's go with uppers and not downers. Let's do coffee shop, not anything like this. So the Red Wolf or Stir Red Wolf or STR, that's now a car, says donating here to get the new filming vehicle as long as it's not brown. Nope, it's not brown. And thank you very much. PSD Mike 169 with $10.69. Nice. Brian, hope you find the help you seek and need. Yep, we're going to find out in an hour. I'm going to be asking this guy most of the questions to begin. Like, have you ever worked with a gay guy that's 40 years old? And if the answer is no, I'm probably just going to go with him because he's like nearby. And at least we talked about this at lunch. He's used to living around here where everybody has this F my L attitude. So at least he can understand that quality of this as opposed to me driving to the Lehigh Valley or all the way up to Wilkes-Barre. I'll do that if I have to, but let's try the local mechanic first just for convenience sake. If he sucks, he sucks. And if not, then I only like wasted $160, whatever. Bob says, between you share all of my anxieties. Nice to know I'm not alone. You are now the voice of my inner monologue. P.S. All hail Fink. Thank you for remembering Fink.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, Bob. Justin Leone says, thoughts on Deltarune. Steph, ever played Deltarune?
Nope.
Okay. I think Deltarune is trying to be meme the game, and they are working. It's a very lighthearted RPG that I think the weird thing with Chris turning evil at the end of it is tilts the room of the game.
Tilts the room, yes.
Yeah. Knowing that it tries to introduce this weird horror thing when the entire game is like funny. It worked in Undertale, but the spiritual successor to it, you have this thing in the background like, okay, at some point the main character is you're going to lose control of the main character. You no longer control it and they do something bad.
Huh.
And I'm trying to intellectualize my way out of it, but the game's narrative, when it does that, the game rolls like an egg. It's like, because they don't really hint at it or talk about it. But I have no suggestions on how to improve it. I just know when it happens, it takes you out of the game. And I guess you could say, well, maybe they're trying to do who's the director who directed the original Dune? That was all weird.
Oh, David Lynch.
Yeah, it's Lynchian. David Lynchian to do that. The Genuine FER, thank you, says is a question for Nick, or a comment for Nick. Nick, hoping you're enjoying learning to drive stick. My first car was a 1995 Mazda Protege with a 5-speed, and I miss it. Loved my Highlander, but not the same.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. I am enjoying it. Yeah, it's kind of, there are things about it that
I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
Oh, go
Talk
for it.
amongst yourselves.
Yeah, sure. There are things about it that sort of come naturally, and others that really don't. I guess I don't know. Like, I stall a lot, and it's something that I just have to work through. I know it's get your reps in, and maybe you'll be able to make it more natural, because there are a lot of people who had someone showing them how to do this at a very early age, and I just didn't have that. And that's kind of a cop out, but like, if I really wanted to, I would have, but I thought everything was fine how I was going, and it really wasn't. So I just want to be more confident of like a manual driver than what I am now, which is just an intermediate beginner level of competency. It's bare level competency, and I want to be better than that. So yeah, it's I don't know. What are your manual driving tips, Steph?
Well, I think it's so basically I had to learn how to drive a manual to do a lemons race, which is kind of the opposite of what you want to do on the street. Like, it's you string every gear out towards the just to the red line and then shift, or to in my team's case, to when the team captain tells you to shift, because I don't want you revving the piss out of the 944. But you get started once and then it's pretty easy. But like I struggled for the longest time with like on the road stuff. So I would say start out with something that has a lot of torque. Like your Mustang's probably pretty good about that. Because it's easier to move something that's either lightweight or pulls itself along pretty easier. It's easier to like modulate the clutch to kind of find that sweet spot. But like, don't get embarrassed if you stall a lot. Just like laugh it off, and just that I think comes with time though, because I used to get very embarrassed and very frustrated very easily.
Yeah, I kind of.
And now I'm just like, whatever, it's just I have a manual and they don't.
yeah, that's a good line.
I just had to laugh to myself a lot of time when I'm driving around town, because I feel like that's the way that people know something isn't wrong. So that it's not the car, it's just me. So yeah,
it's just me.
This is me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Basically, I mean, one of the more helpful things that they did was, and I think this is part of my animus towards Miatas, just the pure absolute hatred of Miatas. I got parked in somebody's track car on the hill, the big steep hill at Harris Hill that goes up to the clubhouse. And they were just like, figure it out. Sat on the back porch laughing at me.
Oh man.
Yeah. I said it, sentient bread.
Yep.
Make no apologies.
That's great.
Yeah.
But
and use the handbrake on things like that.
Yes,
you know?
that is good advice because the handbrake has been invaluable in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's also good that car doesn't have a
Yes.
hill hold.
No,
No.
and it's there are a lot of
Yeah.
things that are very easy about that car that I'm very thankful for.
Mhm.
Whether it's just you can just roll her with very little input whatsoever,
Yeah.
and just kind of coast in a way. But I mean, in other ways, I'm less enthused, I suppose, about some of its technical limitations. But I realize beggars can't be choosers, so you make do with what you have,
Mhm.
and you figure out things along the way.
Boris T.S. Karloff says, any plans for a future call-in show? Well, we're doing it right now. And the last time was fun. I think when I do Brian and Use, it'll also be a call-in show. I'll get Twitter Spaces open and just invite people to talk.
Yeah, and those episodes do get posted on our RSS feed, so like you will be able to download the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get our podcasts from. So look for those. It might be a little bit of a wait, maybe 24, 48 hours for me to like actually get in there, edit the audio to make sure the levels are correct. But other than that, those are still shows that are worth going back and checking out because I think the Brian and Hughes produce some pretty good questions and chat.
Oh, they do. Yeah. Stunt Granny says, Brian, I got to say, I love it when you use burps for pronunciation. Well, I'm always drinking carbonated something or beer while we do this. So if you ever want some easy lemons actions, we've got an iRacing sim series on Saturday nights. I don't have a sim set up. I have nothing. I have
I'm terrible.
It's like simulation racing, especially when you're wearing the headset. I just get nauseous, man. What do you think, Steph? What's your experience with sim racing?
So I mostly troll the comments on the 24 Hours of Lemons sim series because I have zero feel for it. I will say after I had my like big concussion, one of my friends put me on his sim racing rig. He had like R Factor and iRacing. It was just like, here's some tracks that in similar cars. And it actually helped to kind of get that coordination back. But like in like actual competitive settings, I have no feel for it. I don't have a system at home, so I'm just going to mock people.
Yeah.
The Lemons series made me a bot, or actually like named all of the bots in one of the like joke races that they were doing.
Really?
They named them all Steph Schrader.
Oh,
I was like, these bots drive too good. This is not.
Yeah.
It's just carnage. I'm brought out for entertainment, so yeah. I'm no help. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I tried it once, and because I'm like still in like a Gran Turismo 1 state of mind where it's like you drive dirty and that's how you win sim racing.
Yeah.
And then I played like one version of Forza where there's like driver's aids and stuff, and I'm like, all I do is press the button and then you go. And then the other one's like it got really good, but I was still playing with a controller. And I'm like, I'm not really having fun with this. The most fun I've had with any sort of video game simulation, and I brought it up before, is hard driving and race driving. Those arcade games that are clunky polygons, somehow that's fun to me.
I mean, that's really the way to do it because a lot of people get their start in car enthusiast circles through those like arcade type games that are just very not primitive, but very tactile, I suppose, in a way that console versions necessarily aren't. I mean, I remember being in New Zealand and playing that VR game at the automation headquarters, and that was very much a bizarre experience because, well, it was VR, but it's also something where it didn't feel like driving in that exact one-to-one way, but it also didn't not feel like that.
Yeah.
It's weird to kind of put into words.
Yeah, that was the one that just made me motion sick.
Yeah.
And like knocked me out for like an hour. And I was just like sitting on a chair, like stop everything moving because it felt like the chair was on rails.
Yeah.
And I'm like, while playing the game with the headset on, because I didn't pay attention what kind of chair. It's something they built themselves. And I'm in this chair. And then I say to Andrew, one with my headset still on, hey, does this chair move? And he said, yeah, we put some motors in it. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I get out and they're smiling and like, there's no motors. It's just they just got some like square steel, welded it together and put like this. It's some cheap knockoff Sparco seat was the chair for their rig. But I guess it felt that way because they had that little J lever on the bottom to like move it back and forth on rails that they put in.
Yeah, which was smart.
Yeah.
That was smart.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it for the show.
Was that the last super chat?
Yeah, that was the last super chat. Double checking, make sure none other came in. And I got an Amazon box over there with a bunch, and I think the new Hero 10's in there. Yeah. So I want to get that out, get it charged up, because yeah, we're gonna use the heck out of that. Because like my latest GoPro is still a Hero 6, and I thought, hey, this one has stabilization on it. Like our GoPro setup is like a Hero 4 and a Hero 6. And the Hero 4 looks back at me when I'm driving, and the Hero 6 is on my head. But now the Hero 4 is going to be put out to pasture, and it's just going to be the 6 and the 10. Yeah. And the 10, and I have like a little Rode microphone for it. And that's going to be when we try to do these sort of Anthony Bourdain style travel logs. Yeah. The next one's going to be RCR Pacific Northwest, or RCR the eruption, because we want to film out on some of the roads around St. Helens. And that's not going to be till March.
Yeah.
That's where I learned how to drive, is the Seattle area.
Yeah?
I miss those roads. Yeah. I miss those roads a lot. You're going to have a ton of fun.
Yeah. Did you grow up there?
Junior high and high school mostly.
Okay.
So yeah. All right.
What were you driving around on those roads in those days?
Oh gosh, Pontiac Grand Am 2000 model. It was great. That was a fun little car. Underrated.
That sounds fantastic.
Underrated. So fancy.
Okay. So, yep, that's a show.
Yeah, that is a show.
So thank you to Steph Schrader for joining us and talking. Thank you so much for being like on board and impromptu to this.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you
just doing busy work right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone for joining us across 2 streams.
Yeah, our stream went down and came up again.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who donated on Super Chat. You are now paying for my cognitive behavioral therapy. Thank you to everybody who watches the videos. Thank you to the nice response for the BMW giveaway. That's going to be ending next week sometime. It's next Wednesday. So we have a reminder in Monday's video that's ending on Wednesday, and then we have 2 extra videos, one coming out tomorrow and another one next Wednesday. Just more stuff, my reflections on driving a BMW that's making 150 horsepower more than what it did. And yeah. So yeah, it's a 450 horsepower 1 Series. So it's the M Sport, but not the M, because the 1M, forget about it.
I have the biggest boner right now.
Yeah, what are they on Cars and Bids? Like $55,000, $60,000 for a rear 1M? Because America, we hardly got any of them.
Yeah.
But we got plenty of the M Sports. So the whole idea is to take an M Sport and like, I have an M Sport and now I'm faster than a 1M. I'm just as good as 1M. I'm just or to have, I guess, tune a Cayenne faster than a 911. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So thank you to everybody for that. Thanks for liking RCR. And I guess for RCR, I'm Brian.
I'm Nick.
And remote in, we are Steph. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.